All right, how's everyone doing today? So, I've decided that I'm going to be doing more live streams. I'm going to be focusing primarily on the tarot deck, and I'm going to be actually be using this book here. I found this really cool book. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called The Ultimate Guide to the Tarot by Liz Dean. Ultimate Guide to the Tarot by Liz Dean. So I definitely suggest this book. It has a lot of history behind it. And the tarot, and it has great ways in which for you to read the tarot. There's a lot of people that read a lot of different things, a lot of different ways. I personally would say if you're interested in learning the tarot, to actually just go through and kind of just look at the cards. Just look at the cards, and that's all you really need to do. And just study the cards themselves and read very little amount. A lot of people, or I shouldn't say a lot of people, but perhaps maybe some people think, well, tarot is something that you have to have a lot of experience in. You have to have a lot of reading in. You have to have a lot of experience in, or you have to have a lot of knowledge in. But that's really not the case, because the tarot, if you know anything about tarot, it's mostly about the symbolism within the cards. And you have to, of course, know occult concepts in order to actually be able to understand the tarot. Otherwise, you're going to be completely lost. It would be like a mathematician having the tools a mathematician has and going in and trying to learn like rocket science or any other type of science that's other than math. You simply just would not have the tools necessary in order to comprehend the tarot. Okay, so if you do not read about tarot or you do not read about the occult, you're not going to understand these concepts, which brings me up to another point. If you are somebody who you thirst for knowledge, you have spiritual thirst, but you don't know really where to go, I definitely suggest the tarot as a great place to start. If you're not religious or if you don't like to do meditation, it's definitely a spiritual practice. Even it's not just looking at cards and saying, well, this is going to happen to you, or you're going to fall in love today or tomorrow, this, that, and the other. There's a whole lot more to tarot than just, love or money or success, fame, etc. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with these things. That's only one level of the tarot, okay? Because there's technically 5 levels of any spiritual teaching. Okay, and this includes the tarot. Okay, there's the literal earthy level, there's the watery sentimental, okay, there's the androgynous air, and there's the purging fire, and there's even ethereal levels to the tarot. So you have to be able to understand the tarot in these different realms of success. Go. A lot of times when you hear people speak of the tarot, they'll be like, only talking about earthly success. Okay, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with using the tarot for this. It's just not the only thing that it is for. Okay, is my point. So a few more things about the tarot that I also do. There's 3 card layout: past, present, and future. Okay, you can lay the cards out 1, 2, 3. Okay, past, present, future. You can lay the cards out. You can do even deeper delve in past, present, future, past, present, future, past, present, future, and you can compare the top and bottom cards on each one. Okay, you can also now. I personally don't know if this is done, but I like to actually place one card and use it as a base card, and base all the other cards off of this and do a past, present, and future reading. So I would like to place like one base card on the left and place 5 cards to the right of the tarot and base past, present, and future in a way that's more linear in a timeline of you like progressing and growing up on left card. Okay, so some other aspects about today that I wanted to get into with the tarot. Today, the sun is in 28 degrees Sagittarius, and pardon me, lost my spot here. And what I do with my book? I lost my book. No matter, we'll find it again. All right, pardon me. So we're going to be reading a little bit today from the Zodiac and the Salt Salvation. I'm going to be touching on this book from time to time. And this is another aspect of the tarot that I shouldn't say, again, a lot of people don't get. But they often don't do, and they don't place the tarot into the Zodiac chart. Okay, and you can use the tarot in this regard as well. Do apologize here. I don't know why this was not already open like I initially thought it was. So, yeah, I thought I had this open already, but for some reason it's not open. But yeah, I like to get into that a lot of times with the tarot, where people will only include physical earthly goals within the tarot. And like I said, there's nothing really wrong with that per se, but there's more deeper meaning behind the tarot than just, am I going to fall in love? Am I going to have a son or daughter? Am I going to come across riches, or am I going to come across fame and fortune? And it's kind of funny in a way that you actually see that within society, because, it just shows the lack of evolution in humanity, because we're actually supposedly entering in a time where we're supposed to be straying away from wanting those types of things and trying to reach higher and loftier ideals than just wanting mere things for physical pleasure. So, we'll clear the deck. If you're not familiar with tarot, you want to clear the deck of any energies which have happened. If anybody touched your cards, even you yourself touched the cards, and you have negative energy. Okay, you want to actually be able to clear the cards of any energy that might be the person that you're reading's energy. Even you might be reading somebody and they might have a really nasty soul. Okay, and you're dealing with this person. They will contaminate your cards, because their own prana, their own chi, okay, is muddled. Okay, so you want to clear the cards. I like to personally just meditate and do breathing exercises and clearing the cards. All right, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I personally suggest keeping your cards in black. in order to keep out any energies when they're being stored. So, I mean, if you're an energy person that believes in that energies are transmuted real easily, you especially want to do this because a huge portion of any spiritual practice is belief. Okay, and that's what a lot of individuals who will get into too much of a left brain logical mind state, they'll think that, well, it's only what the cards are. There's no spirit, right? It's only, I'm a very analytical person. Okay, there's no need to clear the cards because they're just tarot cards. But this is not a proper holistic way of doing the tarot. But like I said, I offer readings on a whole zodiacal chart to where I will actually place in each uh, quadrant of the zodiac a card. So you have 12 zodiac signs, 12 times 3 is 10, 20, 30, 36, right? So you have a 36 card reading, okay, in which there will be a card on each quadrant of the zodiac all around. And this is the most full reading in which I can give one. So we'll start with a single card reading. Okay, we'll do a single card reading. And we're going to pull from the top here. Now, I personally do cards upside down or right side up. All right, so we have the King of Wands. Okay, and the King of Wands. Let's see, I'm not going to go through the book because I'm trying to go through it without reading so much the book. So the King of Wands, I've actually done this card before recently in the past for a reading. And this card is about contemplation, growth. I would say money is involved in this card because you have the color green. Also deals with subconscious, okay, because there's a lot of subconscious things in here, right? The shadows on the chair, right, reflecting there's contemplation and shadows, okay, and you have also the shadow of an animal right there. So you have like shadow work, okay. So if you pull the King of Wands, this card is about shadow work. And shadow work's basically, not basically, it is your subconscious. So this card's about bringing those subconscious feelings into, or emotions, I should say, not feelings, into manifestation. So perhaps we could find a card that actually deals with Sagittarius, since it's a sign word. But we'll do a more full reading here in a minute. See if anybody comes on here. Yeah, see, I read these books, and I don't always necessarily agree or disagree. Maybe that's what I'll do, like a compare and contrast what the author says they think the uh, card means and what I think it means. Okay, maybe we can do that for right now as well. We'll do, like, for example, the Two of Pentacles. Okay, I'm not going to read verbatim from this book, but they say in this book it's about managing money and making decisions. The Two of Pentacles, the upright meaning of the Two of Pentacles. Okay, to me, this card has a lot more depth than that. And don't forget, at the beginning, I was speaking about how you would like how there's different levels. Okay. All right. So this is only dealing with a really mundane level with this card, the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles to me, let me show you the Two of Pentacles on the phone here. Two of Pentacles, in case you're unfamiliar with it. Right there's the Two of Pentacles. Has to do with, there's a lot of different meanings in this card. This is actually a really good card because it has actually to do with balancing the hemispheres of the brain. It has to do with balancing the biochemical elements within your body as well. Okay, because if you notice, there's water in the card, okay, and a huge portion of your body, as we all know, is composed of water. Okay, so this has to do with alignment. Okay, this is a card about alignment. Okay, clearly, because you have here the person who is trying to align the elements. So really, this card isn't only about alignment, it's about being out of alignment. Okay, because what you have in the card, you have a bunch of unevenness in the card. Okay, what you see in the card, there's a whole bunch of unevenness within the card. You have an individual with a huge hat on. He has his foot up. He has a hand over here, a hand over there. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the background where there's a small ship and a big ship and a small wave and a big wave. So this is about turmoil as well. Okay, this is a card about turmoil. Maybe though not so much in the mind, like I mentioned, though the mind is affected, but this is a card about the elements within your own system. You're not able to align yourself. You hear about aligning your chakras, aligning your energies within your body. Okay, so this is a card of turmoil. In a physical sense in your life, you can apply this definitely on an earthly level in your life. There's turmoil in your life. Okay, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of waves coming at you. You're off balance. Okay, on a more sentimental level, you could probably say it's like maybe it's about emotional turmoil. Okay, you're experiencing some type of emotional turmoil. If you're just coming in, we're talking about this card right here, the Two of Pentacles. All right, and this is about turmoil emotionally. Because don't you dare remember that emotion is energy in motion. Okay, it's inertia. So this is a card about a shifting of energies. Okay, so you also have on an air level, if you're thinking about this card on more of an androgynous air level, you could say this is has to do with, I don't know, I suppose like I don't know, trying to maybe balance out your own spiritual beliefs. Okay, you're trying maybe you have a bunch of different uh, gurus or books about gurus or occult books. You have all these occult books and you have no idea where to begin. Right? You want to start your spiritual journey. So your spiritual journey, you don't know where to start and where to stop because you're in a spiritual turmoil. Okay, so to speak. But on the highest level of this card, on a fiery level, it definitely means more biochemical, balancing out the tissue salts, cell salts, eating the proper foods, and gaining a healthy system of the 12 systems of the body. Okay, so that they are in alignment with one another. If you're not familiar with the 12 systems of your body, I definitely suggest that you stop in and check out some of my other videos on biochemical cell salts within the zodiac and within your own body. So you definitely want to check that out as well. And so we'll go on. We'll do some more readings. Trying to wait for maybe some more people to pop in. All right. See if we can gain more people. We got 100% yes on my survey. 100% yes. That's the first time I think I've ever gotten 100% anything. See if we can get anybody popping in the chat here. So a little bit about me. I've been studying, I like to say I've been studying the occult my entire life because I knew a lot of stuff before I read anything, like an intuitive. But that's not too masculine, is it? So see if we can't maybe share this. Can you share this? Let's see if we can share this. I haven't shared this on nothing, no other platforms. All right, great. Yeah, they're in. I want to share this actually. Share this. Can we share this chat going on? We can't share it. Go ahead and share this to social media right now. Let some people know that I am live. All right, post that to Facebook. I hope. Let's see if it goes through. So yeah, some other ways in which the tarot can help you if you're unfamiliar with the tarot is creativity. Okay, and the way in which the tarot can help you creativity. Say you're a creative writer and you're just stumped, you're blocked, you don't know where to go, or maybe you're a writer. Okay, and I definitely suggest using the tarot with a multitude of books, even if it's Eastern occultism, Western occultism. Okay, the tarot can be applied to Eastern or Western occultism, even though you will have people tell you that you have to keep things in their proper place. There's no like syncretism, right? There's no synchronicity within other religions or other between like Eastern and Western occultism. Okay, but that's simply not the case, because there's almost always 100% some type of correlation within Eastern and Western occultism, if you know how to look, if you know how to read, if you know how to get into etymology, which is going to be some other things I'm going to be teaching on this channel as well. I'm going to be teaching about etymology, astrotheology. I'm going to be getting into perhaps more meditation and my meditation practices, which is actually called Bhakti. It was a meditation practice that I first started out with. It was called Bhakti Yoga. So I'm known as a Bhakti. Okay, and Raha Yoga. All right, this is known as the religion of the heart as well. But as I was saying, actually, about the art, like for example, you're stumped on art. Okay, you're writing a book. All right, we're gonna pull 3 cards from the bottom. Okay, we're gonna pull 3 random cards from the bottom. All right, 3 random cards from the bottom. All right, look. All right. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so you want to write something. I'm gonna write now about there's a queen. She's maybe worried about something. This isn't a pentacle in her hand; it's a crystal ball, and she can see something in the crystal ball. Her life is somewhere else. People miss her because she vanished somewhere, and now she's stuck in another realm, and she's looking into the crystal ball and watching all the people that she ever knew growing up and living their lives as she peers into the crystal ball, and she's stuck in another world. All right, so this is a way in which tarot can be used as well. It can be used to stimulate creativity. Okay, I just gave you an entire scenario where a person's trapped in another realm and looking at a crystal ball, and they can't get back to the realm, and they're looking at other people's lives through the crystal ball. Okay, so there's a story right there. So the tarot can be used for creativity as well. Nine of Pentacles. All right, 9 of Pentacles. All right, so here you have a woman with yellow gloves and a yellow glove. Okay, and she has a bird on her hands. Okay, this can be seen as maybe somebody, maybe you write a story about a woman who could communicate with animals. Okay, and me personally, I would look at this and be like, okay, here's a woman trying to communicate with animals. What other books do I know within occultism that deal with that concept of people being able to communicate with animals? Oh, wait a minute, it's the Goetia. All right, so you go into the Goetia. Wait a minute, is there any relationship to the Goetia? All right, is there any relationship to the Goetia in this book? Okay, and you look for the symbolism within this card. Right, maybe you can write a book about a woman who receives a carrier pigeon and a message from a long lost lover, right? And she receives this message, right? So you can use the tarot card for creativity as well. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles here, and you can, be like, well, perhaps this is the same concept you have. He's holding something in his hands. The knight returning from battle has gifts, for the king. All right. So you can put all these together. This is only 3 cards. Okay, so you could take, 20 cards and put these together in sequence and come up with a whole group of characters for a story based on these cards as well. So you can use the tarot in a multitude of ways. There's a multitude of ways. That's why the tarot is so great, because there's not just, or tarot, however you want to pronounce it. There's a multitude of ways in which you can use this deck, or any deck of tarot for that matter. All right, so we'll go ahead and finish this up, this first live stream. I'm going to be doing these. I'm thinking I'm probably going to try to do these most likely daily. I'm going to try to do these every day. So for the base card, Temperance. Temperance. Right. And then for the next card, Judgment. And you can even align these cards. A lot of people, not a lot of people, I need to quit saying a lot of people. There's a lot of people. You can use these cards, even though there would be individuals within Wicca, right, who would not like this, be like, well, you can actually correlate cards from the tarot with spiritual scriptures, for instance, right? Like the Bible or the Torah, the Quran, the Mahabharata, a multitude of religious texts. Religion, don't forget, religion can work on, I believe, both sides of the hemispheres of the brain, which is, these can lead to not being naive. It can lead to being just overly zealous, religiously zealous. If you are too left brain imbalanced, right? Like a lot of people who are in religion, they're in religion from a young age, right? They're told from the age of, the youngest age they can remember that, this you're going to heaven because you accept Jesus. Okay, you're going to heaven because you accept Jesus Christ, and that's the way it is. There's no other way. Okay, so this can work on either side hemisphere of the brain, to where a person is just really naive or just really overly zealous within their religion, and they're dogmatic and they can't believe in nothing else because they've been brainwashed. Okay. Here's the next card. Queen of Cups. Next card is the King of Cups. Knight of Cups. Wow. Cups. So this is interesting that we're getting all of these cups, actually. There's cups. Actually, I'll look on here. One moment. Wow. And another cup. Wow. Fascinating. So, with all of these cups that we have, we'll get into the cups a little bit more later, but we'll get into Temperance, the card that we're going off of. All right, the base card, Temperance. So this also has to do, this is a card of an ethereal realm, because if you notice, this person isn't actually barely even touching the earthly realm. Okay, so you have Temperance. This card is a card of ethereal meaning and significance. And the one reason why I say it's an ethereal meaning, you can still apply this card, don't get me wrong, to the other elements. But the reason why I say this is more an etheric card is because you have symbology of like the tetragrammaton, you have the sun on the head. This is a card about enlightenment. So this is a card regarding spiritual enlightenment and a person who has already found their path. Okay, this person who has already found their path, because you see in this card a path leading to what? Water, right? And they've gained spiritual thirst, right? They've gained and quenched spiritual thirst, and they're able to balance these in between the spiritual world and the physical world. Okay. And of course, temperance, you know what temperance means, abstaining from certain things. So this is a card about cleansing, right? This is a card about cleansing, becoming pure, right? So this has to do with becoming pure in order to receive. And what is it that you're trying to receive? You're trying to receive spiritual attainment. Okay, and you're trying to do this in a way that is natural. Okay, so temperance, judgment with the top card. So perhaps you're a person in the past who you really judged very quickly. Okay, you're very quick to judge others because maybe you had some type of religious view, or you had some type of political view, or you had some type of philosophical view, or you had some type of medical view, or any type of other view that you may have had, and you lack temperance. Okay, and you judge very quickly based on a lack of temperance, or maybe you judge the other way and you judge the person to be too good, right? Maybe you judge the person to be too good, and this ended up bad for you either way on an earthly level. Now, on a more spiritual level, maybe you were more kind of naive to what you were being taught in your spiritual practice, whether this was a religion or a guru or something new age. Even though this is considered new age stuff, I don't suggest that a person just automatically come along and accept any new age guru that comes along because they might dress some type of way or they might have the appearance. Okay, so you want to have temperance to judge wisely your spiritual path. Okay, don't let others choose your spiritual path for you. Only you can do that. And religion, that's what religion completely will strip you away from. They'll completely strip you away of having any temperance, and they will judge you based on a spiritual path that you will walk. Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, again, like earlier, this is a card about contemplation. Okay, and this is also a card about a person who can't see what's coming. Okay, because there is no this, but they also are hiding something. All right, the Queen of Cups is hiding something because you can't see in the container like you can with the Pentacles. Okay, so or they can't see something. Okay, so they're trying to see something in the Queen of Cups and they can't see it. Okay, so maybe this card could be about somebody can't see the good in you. Okay, they only see what's bad on the outside, but inside the cup, there's actually good things, but they're not able to see it just because they lack knowledge or they lack spiritual discipline. And so they're incapable, literally incapable of seeing it because they lack the knowledge and the gnosis of being able to see it. And this is based on temperance because they lack temperance in the past. Okay, so it's about in the past, maybe you've lacked temperance. Now you have the King of Cups. The King of Cups right here. And the King of Cups is a person who maintains solidarity no matter how bad things get. Okay? No matter how bad things get, all right? Because what you see in this card is a individual who is just on top of waves, right? They're on the rock, right? They're on the rock, right? And they can't be swayed, right? They're firm in their belief, right? No matter how much, like you have the parable, and like remember I told you earlier how this relates to scripture too. The parable in the Bible, how the waves come crashing in, and it tries to destroy everything, right? And you maintain throughout the storm. Okay, so this is a person with temperance right now in today, in the present, maintaining despite turmoil. So you see a lot of turmoil right now within humanity, and you see a lot of people somehow steadily maintaining temperance despite the turmoil. All right. So you also have here the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. This has to do with taking your own responsibility for your own spiritual life. Okay, and you have your own cup. You're riding the white horse. Okay, which is the higher mind. You have the wings of the top of the caduceus and top of the knight's head, and a clear head. Right? What's the knight's armor? It's shiny. Right? So you have a clear head. Right? So you're moving forward within your spiritual attainment, and you're not letting anybody thwart this. Okay, you've obtained, you are the Pisceia, because you see fish as well within this card. It was like red fish, right? So it has to do with blood, right? Corpuscles, right? As well, you have a river in which is shallow, right? So this might also have to do with that perhaps that you've attained spirituality, you're running low on chi, right? You're running low on chi, right? It's about to dry up, and you have one cup left, and it's the Knight of Cups who moves forward despite having to overcome obstacles. But it could also mean since the river is so shallow that the crossing is going to be more easy for you than it would be as somebody else. Okay, so this has to do possibly with being able to cross a river very easily, whereas other people will not be able to cross it. And you also have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups. Right, and this has to do off the top of my head, I would say it has to do with communication with yourself. Okay, so you have your own inner dialogue. All right, you have your own inner dialogue in life, and perhaps you in reflection. Okay, this has to do with reflection because notice how he's wearing the thing on his head and he looks like the fish, right? And it's the same color, and they're looking right at each other, right? So maybe you see yourself some type of way, and this is about changing your self perception, right? Perhaps you're a person who, you know, oh, I'm just so stupid, or I'm so slow, or I'm so whatever, right? So this is about changing those thought patterns within your own mind in order to have a better reflection of yourself. Okay, is what I would say off the top of my head. This card's about. Now, like I mentioned, you can read a lot of books, a lot of different interpretations on occult symbolism or any type of symbolism, and come up with a lot of different interpretations than people have on these cards. But what I like to personally tell people to do is to actually go within themselves and actually come up with their own uh, will, true will of the cards, so to speak, from the cards and manifest. Don't let the cards manifest you, you manifest the cards, if that makes any sense. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be probably doing these almost daily. Um, I'm going to try to get more and more into the presentations as well. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.